right, this is something we're following this week. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says he wants Soweto's debt to be scrapped. By the end of September, Soweto Residents owed Eskom roughly 4.7 billion rand. The problem is overdue debt is adding to Eskom's financial woes. Overall, Eskom is owed above 50 billion rand. Let's get a view from the ground. The Soweto Crisis Committee has been lobbying for debt relief, and we're joined by Seth Mazibuko from the Crisis Committee. Mr. Mazibuko, thank you. I'm sure you're heartened by the Premier's call.
Very good news. It is very good news. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, it is very good news that we're hearing from the Premier. But my problem will be, how do we go about it? We have been engaging with not only the former Premier's office and also the relevant departments about the issue of removing this debt. We have also been doing it directly with Eskom. My problem is that as we are speaking, this is only going to be Soweto's debt that is going to be considered. We might be causing some problem, because then there will be other townships that will then say, what about us? One. Two, again, the issue of electricity, of the debt goes also with another point that says, after the debt has been cancelled, what happens? Now, my advice to the Premier is sit down with the communities that have been negotiating with the government, so that you cannot just come with a debt or a done. We are sitting with many informal settlements that some of them do not even pay, that maybe even after it's cancelled the debt, they will still stay not paying. The other way around, the community is saying, when you cancel that debt, please don't give with this hand and take with another, by having to raise the rates on electricity to pay back what you are owing. So this is complications. Mr. Panyaza, thank you, but please come back to us. Let us get into this together.
And give more details. Thank you. You've raised such relevant points. There have been write-offs of debt in the past. If we just look at Soweto, correct?
Yes.
And huge write-offs.
No. Be careful. No, be careful, man. And that's another thing that we become suspicious of this promise about. Gigaba, just before the elections of, I think, 2019, promised that now there was going to be, the removal of this debt. Up to today, we are still questioning what happened. Immediately after the elections, there was no more talk about the removal of the debt by Sowetans. Now we are saying, is not this another way of our government of saying, now we are going to December elections, and then we are going to the national elections, and then let us now get these people now, come down so that we can get the vote. It should never, the electricity issue, be used as as a campaigning issue. So that's another note, not a penny we are having as this committee, to say that now this must not be used as vote for us campaign.
If you're saying you were let down in that case, have there been other write-offs? Some reports suggest write-offs in Soweto alone over time have amounted to 8 billion rand.
Let me tell you what has happened. What has Eskom had done, particularly with the Soweto residents? They would discuss actually of debt or negotiate your debt as an individual house. The flat negotiations that says we remove the whole debt has never been. But they will put it in one house negotiating with Eskom.
All right. So
and bear in mind that Soweto, part of Soweto, which is now Noordgesig and other areas, are under the city power. And part of Soweto, bigger part of Soweto is then under directly on Eskom. Only our street lines that are on city power.
Yes.
So you are looking at two service providers here competing with each other. I know that city power gets its power from Eskom, but when we have to sit about how do we deal with this, we've got to go beyond just saying we are scrapping this. We've got to say, how then do we go forward? What kind of power are we introducing to even substitute, the kind of power we are receiving now from Eskom? There might be beautiful ideas.
Mr. Mazibuko, so thank you for clarifying that there has been debt relief to individual households. The point is the debt has ballooned again to nearly 5 billion rand. And you raised this point. What happens if the debt is just written off? What happens then? And my question to you is, won't this encourage what's already been cited as a culture of non-payment in South Africa? It could encourage that. What do you do about that?
Can I say to you that I have a commitment that we made not only to Eskom, but also written commitment to the former premier, to former mayors of the city of Johannesburg, where we said the question of the culture of non-payment, we will assist. If we get things right and we work together, we will even assist to get people paying back. And another thing is that we have a problem. When you speak electricity, you should also be speaking informal settlements. These are the people who sometimes get electricity in another form. So it's not about just removing the debt. It is about how then do we get back into a mindset, a change of the mindset of our people. That in itself should be part of the package of what must be discussed. It's not scrapping tomorrow that is going to help. It's scrapping and the sustainability of electricity and the program that will assist the government.
All right, thank you for your comments. Let's see if this idea put forward by the new Premier develops and if there is meaningful engagement. Seth Mazibuko from the Soweto Crisis Committee.